my God, they look huge. Oh, I feel fabulous.
We did say...
We're going to wear bikinis.
Well,
I didn't trim the hair.
I kind of didn't say that I was going to wear a bikini, but she made me wear one once we got to 700 viewers. So here it is. That's all you're getting. You're getting no more. So, welcome, by the way, to the Paranormal Party Podcast. After all, it is a party, and we intend to have a party each week we come on.
Been a little bit of a challenge to have a party today for some of us, because some of us had major traumas only a few hours ago, and we are very blessed. The gods allowed her to live, and she's here with us. There is a video even online which her hubby has quickly thrown together and put out there. And I just have to say how proud I am of you for not saying the word.
I didn't swear.
You didn't say fuck once.
I did not swear, but for anyone who doesn't know, jump onto Newcastle Ghost Tours and you'll see the demise of the Spooksmobile.
Oh no, and even your number plates are crunched up.
Which is my beautiful car that I have been driving for the last 5 years, and I absolutely loved it. Absolutely adored my car. And it got squished between two cars today in a pretty awful accident on the Pacific Highway, which is a major roadway between Newcastle and Maitland. And there I was, literally in the middle of the road. Car couldn't be driven anywhere. The whole back side of it was pushed in. And waiting for a tow truck, and I believe that the cars were waiting for kilometres and kilometres back.
She caused the hold-up if you were stuck.
I did. And it wasn't my fault, by the way. I just want to clarify that. I was stuck in the middle. Get
videos in your cars, because it proves that Renata had come to a complete stop behind the guy that stopped in front of her, and it was the car behind her that ran into her and pushed her into the other car and spun around.
Yeah.
So that means that insurance-wise, no fault whatsoever to Renata.
Yeah, but insurance is a bit shit. Sorry for insurance people, but insurance is shit, and I'm not going to get back anywhere even close to trying to buy a new car, so it'll be money out of the pocket yet again, but never mind, I'm okay, everything's fine. Got a little bit of a neck thingy happening, but hopefully that might disappear within the next 24 hours, I guess we will see. But
that'll get worse.
It could have been much, much worse, and it just goes to prove, I guess, how in a split second life can completely change. So that kind of just rings home to me the fact that anytime you're leaving home, say goodbye and I love you to your friends and family, whoever is there. Give them hugs, give them everything that you can out of yourself before you leave the house, because you just bloody well never know what's going to happen once you get out there. And that was momentary, and the thing, like my husband said to me, did life flash before your eyes or whatever? And I said no. The most scariest thing was looking in the rearview mirror and seeing the car behind me coming flat chat at me and thinking, there is nothing I can do. So no matter what's going to happen next will depend on how hard this guy hits me.
So did they hit you at full speed? They hadn't even slowed down?
They slowed down to a point, and he tried to manoeuvre the car so that...
so that's why you got spun.
Yeah, it cracked me on the backside,
yeah,
but it actually spun me around. So he did try. If he'd hit me full force, it would have been far, far worse.
Yeah.
So I'm actually happy too, and a plug for Hyundai cars, because I was in a Hyundai, and maybe if I was in something else, it wouldn't have been anywhere near as good for me as it was. So, but I miss my car already. I just say goodbye to it on the tow truck, and it was horrible. But anyway,
goodbye.
We're not here. We are not here to talk about that anymore. We are here to talk about...
Oh, one thing though. The person that did the illegal U-turn in the middle of the road, that then drove off and left everyone, karma, my friend. Karma big time.
Yeah.
Coming for you.
Bastard. Now, have we got Mark online here? Mark Wallbank, are you here, my love? Give us a hi.
Mark Ferguson and Christy.
Susan's here.
Nothing was going to stop you appearing in your bikini. She was trying to get out of it, I reckon. We'll just have to adjust.
That's nice. I have never owned a bikini, by the way. I didn't think the world was ready. and this is about as close.
Look at this gloriousness. How could you not wear a bikini?
Jesus Christ. Mark, have we scared you off? Come online. Hello, Charmaine. But
Susan
we,
too. Hi,
we
Susan.
do have a special guest we are hoping will come on very, very shortly.
He's on New Zealand time?
Yeah, he's on New Zealand time, and that's a really bad New Zealand accent, so I'm not going to try. And his name is Kanakbaru Kram.
I've got my book down here somewhere too.
So, in other words, if it's upside down, it does say Mark Ferguson. Oh, not Mark Ferguson. Jesus. Mark Wallbank. Mark Wallbank.
She's got a head injury at the moment.
Mark Wallbank from Haunted Auckland. This is one of the books that he has written, and he has written many, many, many. And while we are waiting for him to come online, I am going to read you a story, and hopefully he will come on and join us, and we'll be able to talk to him. Mark is a member of... Hello, Mark. How are you? Excellent. Excellent. We're going to read a story from this book of yours, Mark, which is Talking to Shadows.
Hi, Tina.
A New Zealand paranormal research team's search for answers. This is a really good book. I got this last year from him, and I have read it, but I would like to share a story right now.
Is that the one that I wrote something in?
I don't know.
I've written something in one of them.
I don't know.
Might be my story.
So bear with me. I'm going to read about the Waitomo Caves Hotel, and if I have said that very
I've stayed there
incorrectly,
oh, it's
I'm sorry.
awesome.
The Waitomo Caves
They put us in
Hotel
the haunted wing too.
in New Zealand. So this is a story from this particular book here by Kanakambumbalu.
Crack'em. Crack'em. That's it from now on, you crack'em.
So, as it goes, the Waitomo Caves Hotel, originally called Waitomo House, was first built in 1908 and was renovated 20 years later in 1928 due to an increase in popularity. Its weatherboard timber construction, balustrade verandas and octagonal turret were the work of architect John Campbell. The building is situated on a natural point of limestone rock, with a running stream and many caves inhabited by glowworms below. Many of these caves are regarded by local Maori as tapu, inhabited by, oh my god, I'm not going to say that, but fairy-like beings.
Would you like me to interpret?
Who are seldom seen and lure people away from safety with the music of their flutes.
No.
Hurry up. And possessing magical powers and special knowledge. The Maori occupation of the land dates back to 1350, with two massive battles being fought in the area, as well as localised skirmishes between local tribes. The caves...
Is that the one that you have with the Turkish bread?
The caves were often used for burial ceremonies.
That's it. That's where we stay. Show them the picture. Look at the picture. Look, see that? And Simeon and Graham came with us, and Hannah and Alex and Roman, my husband.
Looks good.
And we stayed.
We'll have to go
over that side.
So there's not long. Bear with me. Bear with
my
me.
God.
Bear with me.
I'm not a patient
The
person.
hotel, the hotel is also built on the site of a British fort that was used during the Kingite battles, due to its good outlook and foreboding slopes. The Waitomo Caves Hotel is considered one of the most haunted locations in New Zealand. What are you doing? That's electric. Oh, stupid woman. There have been claims of bathtubs dripping blood, orbs bouncing around the driveway, and a Maori princess stalking the corridors. Some people have also reported experiencing the dining room going cold, laughter, the feeling of something walking through them, and the noise of a maid's trolley going along the long stretch of hall in the lower part of the hotel. Oh my God. It has been reported by both hotel staff and guests that a ghost likes to play tricks on them, and that apparitions have been seen in the dining room, along with an uneasy feeling in the atmosphere. It has also been reported that some rooms have moving lights and objects, and even screams. The hotel was also a big inspiration for one famous visiting movie director guest, Guillermo del Toro.
Oh my God, he's like super famous.
Yeah.
He's
an amateur ghost
awesome.
hunter in his spare time, who was in New Zealand scouting out locations for his part in the Hobbit trilogy, loved the place so much that it became the single biggest inspiration for his next film, Crimson Peak. We've all seen that.
Oh, yes.
Oh, now it makes
Yeah,
sense.
it does.
Del Toro, who eventually dropped out of directing The Hobbit, claims to have encountered
Now that was a mistake, wasn't it?
two ghosts in his life, one being the night he stayed at the Waitomo Hotel. And he says, "I heard a horrible murder being committed in the room," Del Toro was quoted in saying.
Like, really happening.
Yeah. "I was actually terrified. I didn't sleep at all that night. What was strange was that the next morning I was not tired, but I was wired
It was a refreshing murder.
and scared.
Mm.
I never imagined having those fears. It was absolutely terrifying." And that's one of the stories in Kanakwallabol's
I was trying to find my photo.
Ramak, or Mark Wallbank, in other words, from Haunted Auckland. And this particular one is called Talking to Shadows, and I'm sure you can buy it online. Now, we have Mark with us.
I just had a thought. I know why you had the car accident.
Oh, why?
You touched a Ouija board on the weekend.
Oh, please. Did I?
That's it.
I
Yep.
did.
You did.
I was cursed.
That's it. Oh, Mark!
Where-
Here we go. This is where we're going to try.
Here we go, here we go, here we go. Do we have to add him here? Add him there?
No, oh,
Oh, hold
Oh,
on.
bring
Mark on camera.
oh, he's changed his name. Looks different that way.
Here we go.
Oh,
Here
sorry,
we go.
too much cleavage.
Here we go. Oh, come on. I know New Zealand's
Oh,
far
that's
away.
not
Hurry
bad.
up. Oh, stop
Not
it.
bad.
Stop
No,
it.
that's not doing it bad, except for
We're
me.
very professional.
Oh,
Stop it.
hello.
Hello.
All right, you need to put a torch in place. We can't see you. We would like to see you.
Move up, move up, move
It's
up.
very hot and sweaty in here. It's very hot and sweaty, so I've got the lights off.
It's sweaty.
We're sweaty.
It's
We've
sweaty.
had some New Zealand already.
You've got a horrible arachnid over your head.
Holy shit. It reminds me
How
of
you going, ladies?
No. Welcome, Mark. How are you?
I'm feeling good, thanks. A little bit sweaty, but I'm feeling good.
Excellent, excellent. So, we've talked about your book here that you wrote. One
Thank
of
you for that.
many. How many have you written? How many have you written so far?
3 books. I'm working on my 4th one at the moment.
Oh, excellent. So, any particular story that you might like to share with us that might be in this new book that you're writing?
Well, the new one's actually going to be about cryptids. It's about New Zealand cryptids, New Zealand's strange animals. So I'm going to be co-writing that with Tony Lucas. And, we're just basically banging heads together and highlighting some of New Zealand's unusual animals that you don't usually hear about. And
Okay, well,
something a
what would
little
they
different.
be?
Oh,
what would
everything
these-
from the Goat Man is a good one. The Moeho. There's various lake monsters that nobody really hears about. A lot of Maori folklore
And
as
you
well.
have like recent sightings of these particular things in New Zealand?
Nothing recent, no. Maybe
So
within the
when
last
would be
year.
the last one, last sighting of a creature?
Ooh, the last one I heard about was about 10 years ago.
Oh,
About 10 years
that's
ago, yeah.
recent. I
That's
consider
recent.
that to be recent.
Yeah.
When you're as old as I am, that's recent.
In the big picture,
So
yeah.
Are you heading out into the bush to do explorations yourself, or have you already done that?
I've done a lot of that
Or is it-
already. I'm planning to get it back out there again and have a look around, but most of it is through talking with locals in various regions around the country. We just do lots of interviews, and I just go around. I do lots of road tripping around the country, and just talk to the locals and hear the local urban myths and local stories. And it's amazing. the stories that come out of these little tiny rural towns.
Yeah. So are there any local indigenous legends about some of these monsters as well? Because I know we have particular areas here where the indigenous people would say there is a living creature in particular sites that they know quite well. And these creatures know the terrain, and they're either the creatures that look after or protect the site and sort of protect the land, or they're there to ward people off those particular areas. So same for New Zealand?
Not really, no. We don't have the history that you guys have, but we have a lot of stories, and a lot of it's just sort of very sort of closed, small town stories. People seeing things out in the lake. People seeing things in the rivers, people seeing things in the bush, and it's kind of just fleeting moments seen by hunters, giant black cats, that kind of thing, seen out in the bush by hunters and trackers. Sort of cryptids that are seen worldwide that are still seen here as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
And are there any water creatures?
We have a few lake monsters, yes. There's one just down the road, actually, Lake Papuki, which is by the Lake Papuki, and it's in Takapuna, and that's right beside the Pump House Theatre, which we've investigated quite a few times. Very mysterious lake there that's meant to have a creature lurking in there. So, yeah.
I like lurking creatures. It's very exciting to have a lurking creature that
She
you can
married
go.
one. Hi, Eric. How are you? You can smack me later.
Tell us about your favourite encounter up till this point in time. If people were going to come to New Zealand to go ghost hunting, where would you suggest that they would go? Other than back to Australia.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I did like the Waitomo Caves Hotel. That is a lot of story. A lot of stories
fantastic.
that go behind that. But we didn't experience anything ourselves. But I mean, there are a lot of theatres here. There are a lot of, I mean, the most amount of activity we've had really would be at this old former school that we've been investigating for the past 2 years. And we did quite a few live feeds from there. And we had about 20 sessions over 2 years. And we had sessions where nothing would happen. We'd be there all night long, nothing would happen. And then we'd have sessions where lots of things were happening. And I truly believe that if we'd carried on sticking with that school, we actually lost it because the owners, the people that were using it, lost their lease ran out. So we had to sort of move on. So we kind of lost that as a venue. And I truly believe that we would have eventually found something because we all saw things, we all heard things, we had things recorded, we had things happen quite often. And I think it was just a matter of time. So it was quite unfortunate that we kind of lost that one. A bit disappointing.
I remember myself hearing a story from New Zealand because we had a gentleman who became the manager of the Civic Theatre for a period of time, and he'd come, I think, directly from managing a theatre in New Zealand. Now, I'm not sure which one it was, may well have been in Auckland, but I'm not 100% sure now because it's been a couple of years ago. But he was talking about this particular theatre being very, very haunted. And the one particular thing that stuck in his mind was the one time where a group of school children had come in to see a play or some sort of a production, and they were all sitting in the first 2 rows of the theatre. And lo and behold, a ghost actually walked across the stage.
Yeah.
Now, it was a bit of time before they actually kind of clued in that the person that was on stage was actually not alive. And then the teachers went into an absolute panic and tried not to say anything to the kids and just scooted them out the side door.
And nobody caught it on camera.
Nobody caught it on camera because, of course, they weren't prepared for that. But the ghost of the theatre actually just walked across the stage as if to say, hello, I'm here. It was a pack of school children that were there. So I remember him telling me that particular story when he moved in and started to manage the Civic Theatre. And he knew at that point when he came in, he was expecting that there would be certainly ghosts with our Civic Theatre as well, which there are.
Well, there's about 3. There's about 3 ghosts at the Civic, apparently. The most common one is Freda Stark, the dancer. She's said to still hang out there. And there was an old manager that died within the in the theatre, and he's thought to just sit in the up in the stalls there watching the workers. And so there are a few names there that you can put to some of the figures up there.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember when we were there, there was a place called the Buried Village.
Rotorua?
Yeah, around that way.
Yeah.
The place that you drive into town, you keep your windows wound up because it's like, woo! People warn you about it, but until you've actually experienced it, there's nothing like it.
Well, what's wrong with the place?
You don't know about Rotorua?
No.
Salty City.
I don't
Vegas.
think we should tell it. It's got a lot of the gas coming up from all the ponds.
Oh, the sulphur and all
it's a
that
little
sort of
bit pongy, but you sort of get used to it. But there's some days it's really bad. So how do the New Zealand people feel about, like, if a team went into the Buried Village or somewhere like that to investigate? Are they sort of cool with you investigating those areas, or is it a bit taboo?
It is a bit taboo, yeah. With the whole, we've got to be very careful with the whole Maori folklore or the Maori side of things. So we try not to get too involved. We'd like to, but it can get a bit difficult. So we try and leave it to others where we can. But I mean, if we have permission from people that run the place, well, sure, we don't mind. But we have to be very sensitive about it. We have to be,
Yeah, you've got to be careful sometimes. Can you tell people what the Buried Village is, so they know what it is?
I haven't been there.
Oh, haven't you? Oh, okay. It was there was some sort of natural. I don't know if it was like a volcanic thing or something that erupted and then it literally buried the village. It's a bit like Vesuvius, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was all these beautiful natural wonders around the place as well, and they all sort of went under the ash and and everything that was there. So that was a really interesting place. I mean, I did try to slip a digital recorder in there to maybe ask, was anyone around? But no, nobody came talk to me.
Oh, well. Got to keep trying.
So what's the what's the best experience you've had as a paranormal investigation in regards to an experience of possible ghostly interaction?
Of course, all my stories are just all purely anecdotal, no proof, no nothing. We did have a torch that was apparently thrown down the stairs at Puanui House. I don't know if you saw that footage. That was probably the only thing I've ever captured, but we didn't actually capture any ghost or anything. It was just a torch flying down the stairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
If you go to our website and look at the YouTube clips and look up Puanui investigations, quite a bit there.
I keep on thinking he's swearing at us all the time.
I know, right? This is like ooey pooey. Ooey pooey. If he starts talking about sex, we're in trouble.
And again, the school we've had quite a bit of activity at the school, of course. The school that we've been doing, quite a bit of activity there as well. So, which again we've seen sort of grey, misty figures roaming around. We've seen with pianos being played. We've heard children screaming and crying, not crying, but sort of just yelling and screaming like in a playground. That kind of things. Yeah. Possibly residual sounds from the past, but still quite fascinating. But that kind of thing, mostly is residual.
Yeah, talking about residual, I had someone call me during the week who lives in a house that's quite active, and she was saying to me, and I'm sure she won't mind me telling the story, I won't mention her name and I won't go into details too much, but this is another fine example of residual activity. I think she was in the bath from what she said, and she actually heard someone come into the toilet next to the bath and literally do their jobby and walk out. And
so she thought somebody's come to do a number 2 in there.
Yeah, and she kind of thought, well, that's a bit weird because the water hasn't flushed.
Oh, that's an inconsiderate ghost.
And she's thinking, well, that's weird. Who walked into the toilet, did whatever they did, and then walked back out again without flushing the toilet or saying anything or whatever. So, of course, she finished the bath and walked out. Of course, my question was there anything deposited in the toilet? A ghost poo?
A poo plasm.
And she said, no, there was nothing. So kind of talked about it for a little while, and I said, you know, what you may have actually heard is the residual energy of someone who had gone to the toilet in the past when the toilet actually had no flushing system in it, because it's rather an old house that she lives in an old suburb. And so sometimes when I know it's weird, I know.
Based on the sort of the theory that a traumatic event imprints itself into a location, it was a traumatic poop.
But we kind of think watching shows on TV and watching movies and everything, that all of this ghostly activity is going to be really dramatic, and, you know, someone's going to run down the corridor or you'll get pushed against a wall or whatever. What if it can be as simple as a time slip where this energy comes back in and goes to the toilet? And that is your ghostly experience.
So what's your thoughts on that theory, Mark? Over to you. I don't know where to go with that.
I just thought from the point of being... Look, I just thought of it from the point of it being something that we all do.
Yeah.
We all go to the toilet. It's totally unexpected from the point of view of, you know, something that's paranormal and something that could be evidential, something that's evidence. But obviously this thing happened with this particular woman. And so how do we explain it? We can only explain it as some form of residual energy that's been left over from an activity that happened a long time ago. The only good thing I say is that no poo was found, because that would have thrown a spanner in the works.
What about smells?
Oh, that's
an idea. I didn't ask her about smells.
See, this is why we've got him on. He's the clever one.
I did not ask about smells. I will ask her about smells, whether she actually... I know.
Was there any toilet paper missing?
Yeah, if I'm going to leave some sort of residual energy behind, I hope it's not a poop, sound and smell. I really do.
I did think it was quite interesting, though.
Yeah.
Where did it all start for you, Mark?
Oh, I was just a wee kid. I think I've always been a bit stubborn with learning at school. Like I always sort of was asking too many questions at school. I was one of those kids that was always asking questions. My grandmother always told me, ask questions, that's how you learn. So I did. I asked questions all the time. And I got to the point where a lot of what I was being taught at school just didn't seem to make sense. And so I was asking questions. I wanted to find out the whys, the hows, the whats. I didn't want to find out just the one fact. I wanted to find out all the surrounding information about it. So I asked a lot of questions, and a lot of it didn't sort of add up and didn't make sense to me. And I started questioning, you know, how do we know these things? For example, like dinosaurs. You know, we were taught at school about dinosaurs, and we were taught that, you know, bones were being found, and this is what the dinosaurs would look like. And we were shown big paintings of these amazing dinosaurs and what they look like, and all the colours and the spines and everything. And we were told about what they ate and how they interbred and their migration routines and stuff like this. And this was
You do know we were around when the dinosaurs were around, don't you?
Yeah.
She was. I was born 10 years after.
That's proven, apparently. We were here when the dinosaurs were here.
Hello, Attila.
And all that information was all gathered from one toe bone, you know, and even as a young kid, I thought, that's not right. You know, how do they know these things? And then later on through life, just with my education, finding out history changing as it went along. And all the things I was taught in science was being changed, and everything I was taught in history was being changed, and everything I learned about dinosaurs was being changed. You know, so it was continually changing. All the information was changing. So I wanted to know the facts, and so I just started asking questions at an early age and started going out there looking. I was always interested in horror and monsters and Scooby-Doo and all that sort of stuff as a young kid. So I just basically did everything I could to look for my own answers, and spent a lot of time in abandoned old houses. I lived in early Howick, which is an eastern suburb of Auckland, and my parents bought the very first house out that way. So I was left with paddocks and farmland as far as the eye can see, with old burnt out remains of farmhouses and everywhere. So I would spend time just sitting in them at night, just with a torch, just sitting in there, trying to experience ghosts. Because I just felt that there was something there. I mean, I'm not psychic. I'm as sensitive as a brick, but I still felt, I could still feel that there was something there, something worth looking into. So I would sit there in the dark and just ask questions. And I'm doing it today as well.
I would dare say that those people that feel that they're about as sensitive as a brick are a little bit more sensitive than they think they are. So same would go for you. There is a pull for you to the paranormal, so you can't say you're not sensitive. There's something there that was drawing you. So it's just about,
Yeah.
I don't trust the information I get. That's what's my biggest thing, is that my logical brain kicks in and goes, no, that's just me making shit up in my head. And I prefer to call myself a psychic brick because it's easier.
Yeah, I just prefer to look for the answers myself. I mean, I'm not in this whole paranormal field to find the answers for the whole world. I mean, I'm not going to prove everything to everybody. I mean, everybody can find out for themselves, and I truly believe that it's an individual thing. I think we have to experience it individually to fully appreciate it. And you're not going to experience anything by sitting at home at your computers. You've got to go out there. You've got to go to where the stories are, where the stories come from. Go to these locations, spend time in them, see what happens. That's the only way. So that's what I do.
Yeah, and we're certainly lucky that we're in a time at the moment that is embracing the paranormal more and more, and allowing people like us to go out to these spots and do our investigations and gather evidence, or just go and have an experience. So it's a good time to be a paranormal investigator. By
the way, someone's trying to hit on you online. I'm a little bit suspicious. You seem to have the last name, so I think it's your sister, Sarah. She thinks you're pretty hot, so in true New Zealand style, there you go.
It's the one. She's very tolerant.
I'd watch out. She sounds like a stalker to me. I'd watch out.
She's just a little jealous of our bikinis. I've lost mine in a roll of fat down here.
Where did it go?
So freaking tight. So, Mark.
Yes.
Are you coming to Paracon?
Are you coming to Paracon?
No. Bluntly, no.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, don't cry, Cara.
You've broken our hearts,
No,
Mark.
not this year. Well, no, not this year.
Too. My home turf.
But we are planning an Australian trip. We're planning on coming down and doing a bit of a South Australian drive. We're going to do the whole Melbourne, Adelaide, and all that sort of area. So that'll be later on in the year. So we're kind of saving our money for that. That'll be later
if you come around the same time that we're in South Australia, we could meet up. And
is that like August?
Yeah, we're sort of coming July, I think, or something, for a weekend. So we could probably tee that up when we go and visit our beautiful Alison O'Born at Haunted Horizons over there, and do a weekend. And do the Adelaide Jail, possibly in Tailem Town. Hello, Alison, we're talking about you.
The devil. Hey, Alison, do you like a
Hey, Alison.
Yeah, so that'd be a lot of fun if we could all get together.
But I'm keen to get back over there. I do miss the place. So, and I love spending time with the mountains as well. So, it's great.
Yeah, New Zealand is an astoundingly beautiful place. Astoundingly beautiful. So, it's breathtaking.
You've really got to go right down the bottom, though, to fully appreciate it. Down the South Island.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Been there. I've been there once, many years ago. I hope to go again. Yeah. So we're waiting for our invitation, Mark.
Well, promise to leave the bikinis alone.
We'll come down and do some table tipping with you.
Sure. I've actually got a couple of small tables here as well, so that's good.
Hey! They're prepared for us.
I don't touch them.
Unlike Norfolk Island, that was not prepared. We can find one anyway.
Well, we'll wrap it up. Thank you so very, very much. Now, where can people find these wonderful books of yours?
The first two are available through Amazon, and I think I've got a few copies floating around here. The third book was the road tripping book, Haunted New Zealand Road Trip, and I think I've run out of those. I haven't got any around. But they're available through New Holland, which are the publishers, I think they can be found in all the shops around New Zealand and online as well. Yeah, so just check online. Yeah.
All right, so is it best for people to go to Haunted Auckland?
HauntedAuckland.com, yep.
HauntedAuckland.com for those people that couldn't understand the New Zealand accent.
We'll translate for you.
HauntedAuckland.com.
Haunted Auckland.
That's just even worse. Don't stop trying.
It's not that bad.
Look,
I get mistaken for Australian all the time.
it's been absolutely a delight to speak to you. We are so glad that you've come on to be a guest.
Do you want to see my room? Can you see my room? Hang on.
Yeah.
There.
Oh! Look at that spider. It's absolutely
I'll just show you. I'll just give you a quick tour, eh? Hang on. Like a spin around.
Yeah.
Well,
You have any shrunken heads or anything?
no, not shrunken heads. No. Can't see what I'm seeing there.
Oh.
We've got
Skulls.
skulls
They're all real too.
and a Ouija board.
Oh, a Ouija board. Watch out, you'll have a car accident. That's similar to mine.
We have stabbed butterflies.
You got any haunted objects in there? Oh, there's
I have
hands.
actually lots of haunted objects. This is actually my little man cave. It's not really. It's a bit small to be a man cave, but it's sort of a man cubby hole, really. Very tiny. But
You're in your wardrobe.
I've got my books. This is all my books
It's like
here.
Narnia.
Yeah, cool.
Some clowns. This is my little clown collection.
Oh, clowns. They're not funny. Why do people think they're funny? They're awful. Terrifying things.
Bits and pieces. We've got
Nice.
a little girl here. This was the little girl that was left at our letterbox here, a few months ago. I'm not sure what she's about.
Is she giving you any trouble?
This is a haunted one here. This is haunted. These ones are haunted.
Do they give you any grief? Oh, look, my boob's just about falling out there. I'll just tuck it back in. do any of the haunted objects give you any grief?
Not really, no.
Funny about that, isn't it?
It is. When they come into this room, nothing really happens. I have heard a few noises coming from this room, but we're not sure whether it's, a rat or a mouse or something like that, or something's gotten in. But I don't know. We do hear the odd sounds, and we do see the odd shadows around the house. The wife sees more shadows than I do. But we do have a lot of objects here that have been given to me by people that just want them out of the house. We've got like that Ouija board there. That was given to me by a woman who bought it from...
You lucky bugger.
She bought it and took it home, and everybody freaked out and wanted it out of the house, and things started happening, and she just...
That's almost 100 years old, that one.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
And I've got a couple more
amazing.
down here. A couple more down here. Various different
Oh, yeah.
Ouijas
I've got one of
there.
those.
Yep. There's about 4 of them.
Couple
Well,
of
I've
funeral
bought
urns there. A couple of funeral urns. I don't know if you see those.
Yeah.
I got lots of
Have they got ashes in them?
No ashes, no. I was just digging through a whole lot of boxes, though, recently, because I was trying to clean up this room a bit, and I found a whole lot of my old paranormal investigation equipment that I used back in the 80s and 90s.
Wow.
Like this one here is quite a classic. This one here, I don't know if you can see that.
Born in
It's got
the
little compasses.
Oh. Oh, yes, all the compasses, yeah.
Various different sized compasses. I don't know if you can see that. And yeah, I'm very big on the whole magnetism idea of ghosts, what ghosts are, the whole energy, that ghosts are made of energy. That's one sort of theory that I'm following quite closely. I use a lot of energy, various different electrical energies. I work on static, I use on magnetism. I work on quite a few different types of energies. So a lot of my experiments are based on energy, I guess, to try and...
Yeah,
with
they're talking a lot about biofields now, which is to do with electromagnetic energy. So even though we sort of poo-poo K2 meters a lot, they seem to be going back to the K2 as being a device that is pretty good to use.
As long as it's used with common sense. That's the problem when people think they've got a ghost in their
Well,
handbag.
it's an environmental detector. It detects what's happening in the environment.
I have to show you, Mark, one of my awesome collections.
Oh, nice. Look at that.
Ghostbusters can. How's
cool.
that? Isn't that awesome?
It's haunted.
It's haunted. Something and drank the juice out of it.
So that's cool.
Excellent. Yeah.
And
Look, the worst
that was another
thing
one
in the whole room is that spider. I'm sorry.
Ah, they're big ones.
Do you ever take the old equipment out with you, ghost hunting?
Sometimes, not these ones. These ones I've only really just stumbled across. I pulled out an old box, but I like to keep it old school. I'm not really too keen on the gadgets, to be honest. I mean, I do buy gadgets wherever I find them, and they just don't deliver. I just find that they are a bit too vague. They're not very accurate, and I quite like the old school ones.
I thought you were saying they don't deliver the products to you. I thought it mustn't be coming from Paratech. We're very good on our deliveries. Notice how we got to plug in there.
There's my little Devil's box. This is something I created many years ago, the old Devil's box.
Oh, you want to make one of those?
Yeah, the old mirrors.
Very keen to make one of those. Any results with it?
No, nothing at all. Just I've used various different types of microphones. I use various types of piezo sort of contact mics and stuff like that. Nothing as yet. But still keep trying, Gotta keep trying these things.
Yeah.
Lots of little gadgets and things. I'm big on sort of the old school ways of doing things, and Harry Price, and all his gadgets, and keeping it pretty simple and basic,
Yeah.
Actually.
Hi, Pete. Pete's on.
Okay, we will say goodbye.
Yeah, all the rest of you stay on because we've still got a few other things to cover.
Yep.
But thank you so much, Mark. You've been wonderful.
Thank you.
No worries. It was fun.
We hope to speak to you. Oh, God. We hope to speak to you again.
Oh, my Lord.
We will do. It's been awesome. Thanks, guys.
Show just about your Narnia room.
Yeah. We're going to call it Narnia from now on, your room.
And that's my portal over there. Portal through there.
Your portaloo?
Your portaloo? Why have you got a portaloo in there?
Portal.
They like that. We got lots of laughs. See all the laughs?
All about the lols.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll come over and do a live feed with you in New Zealand one day.
We'll do it.
See you later, Mark.
Yeah,
Go get that Sarah chick.
Bye.
Bye.
You got to turn off.
Turn off. I'll tap him, and I'll do that. Hey, he's gone. Oh, there's Lord Eric. He didn't hear me say anything about him before. I'll put the fan back on.
It's hot.
I know, it's because I'm in a bikini, I'm sexy.
Okay, so we are up to what is up Anne's goat.
How long have we been on?
I don't know.
Oh, all right. What was I? Look, I had a thought actually while we were talking to Mark, that people come into the field for various reasons, and sometimes we bash each other up for the reasons that we're in there, and you're not being serious about it. Some people just come into this field to have an experience, to go to a haunted location and just sit and soak up the atmosphere and just look with their eyes, listen with their ears, rather than have all the gadgets and do all that. And that's fine. And other people want to be very scientific about it, and they want to get the gadgets out. They want to have logical explanations for every single thing going on in the environment. They want to capture that evidence and that definitive proof that there's afterlife. And that's fantastic too. Just find out what you like, and don't beat yourself up if you're not following what someone else is doing and think you have to be like them if you're going to be, a proper investigator or whatever that may be. If you're just there to have the experience, good on you. That's what I say.
Yeah, and teams that go around and do ghost tours and things, I think really have to be quite careful that we don't alienate people who are just coming to have an experience or who may not know. Stop it! Who may not know or be as experienced as others, because it's very easy to turn people off. All they need to do is be on one tour where they might be ignored or where they might be asking a particular question, like about orbs, let's say, and everyone.
That's interesting.
And everybody
That's
sort of
really
goes,
interesting.
"Oh, that's so stupid. You don't know what you're talking about," and so on and so forth. And so from our point of view, we have to be very, very careful not to alienate those people, but to explain or to at least give them something to think about so that they can walk away and either make the decision that they still want to believe in those things as they believe in them, or they might be ready to accept some new information and maybe thinking about it differently. So some of us that have been in the field or have been working for a really long time are all about extending our boundaries and learning as much as we can, but not everybody is, and that's okay.
Kara's telling me to take it off.
No, don't. Please don't. No, please don't. Please don't. We're near the end.
Okay.
Keep it civil.
Right, my other little thing I had that I was going to talk about was I read in one of the paranormal forums today that somebody had said that they were at a flea market. They were selling, bits and pieces, and this lady came up to her and bought something off her, and off they went. And then the lady came back and gave the seller a gift. And the gift was a little purse, and it had something sort of folded up in it, and a summer flower that had been had some petals pulled apart, and they're all packed into this little purse. And she gave it to the seller and said, "Thank you so much. I love the purchase that I got, and this is a gift for you." So the lady got onto the paranormal forum that had received the gift and said, "Is this a spell? What is it? What is this purse?" And she said there was something wrapped up that was tiny, and when she unwrapped it, it was $1. It was money. And she was starting to worry that it might have been a curse. And all these people are jumping online going, "Oh, I'd be careful. I'd be getting it blessed by a priest. I'd get rid of it. I'd burn it. I'd do this." And I got on there and I said, "Now, guys, hang on. Why are you assuming that this is something bad? In the world of the witchcraft, the craft, Wicca, whatever you want to call it, the whole idea is that you're responsible for your own decisions and what you do in life. So if somebody did something that was very negative towards another person, that comes back at them threefold or more, right? So the same thing with a positive thing. If you do something positive for someone, that comes back at you threefold, right? So why would a stranger go up to someone, give her a curse or something that was really bad, and then take the after effects that come from it? It's more likely she's done a positive, good thing for someone to reap rewards from that. So let's just not assume that everything out there is negative. Keep the positive in the heart there. There are people out there doing good, positive things for people. I know I do.
Well, we try. Now, to end off, just a little bit of advertising. We do have a number of things coming up. We are very, very busy over the next few months.
Very busy.
Anne's got a lot of Q Station gigs coming up, so jump online to Q Station and book those directly with Q Station.
Sold out till April. There's a couple spots left on April and even less spots in May, and then we're into Paracon.
Yeah. Now, don't forget, if you don't have your tickets yet for Paracon, buy them. We've got the Paracon guys have got some excellent guests coming over, and it's going to be a blast. And that's going to be at Q Station as well. So by all means, get your tickets. Do not be late. Some of the events are already booked out, so don't leave it till the last minute. Aussies are so good at leaving things till the last minute. Buy your tickets now. We also have Prince Henry Hospital.
Yes,
for anyone who's in the
up.
Sydney region, we'll be doing some investigations at Prince Henry Hospital.
Yeah, now that is really cheap. It's twilight at Prince Henry. It's $15 a person, but be prepared. There is a lot of people there, and it's like a little bit of the taste of the paranormal. It's hard for that location to be leased out to paranormal investigators, so we do try to split it up. We split it into 3 groups to try and give you a better experience, but still a really interesting night. We've had some great experiences there, particularly on the spirit boxes and the SLSX cam. So if you're interested in that, keep an eye on it's either Randwick Council or
Prince Henry
Museum Facebook page, but it books out super quick, so watch that one.
Yep. We have a new venue or a new site out at Stroud. It's taken me 6 months to try and work through the paraphernalia associated with councils and blah, 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 and all of that sort of stuff. And then it was yes, and then it was no, and then it was yes, and then it was no. So we're finally going out to Stroud this year to do a tour out there, and that's going to include parts of that main strip there, the main street. So we're going to be going into the old courthouse, we're going to be going into the cemetery, we're also going to be going into a place called Crombie House, which is super cool, and we might even take you up to Silo Hill, which is got one of the only 2 or 3 sites in the whole of Australia that has silos built into the ground. And so it's really, really interesting spot. Norfolk Island, which we have just returned from.
Oh my God.
Is just super, absolutely mind-blowingly fantastic. We are happy to say that we are going to be booking in 2 tours next year, 2 long weekends, Friday to Monday, for people to do investigations and ghost tours there. And my God, if you haven't been...
And it's going to be more in the paranormal vein, because the locals are fascinated with what we do, and they said that nobody from the paranormal world has come over to investigate. So we had locals begging to take us out, and they were letting us into all the buildings, from the first settlement, first fleet. Phenomenal. And the most amazing table tipping session I have ever experienced in my life, on a table that I didn't think would lift in a million years. And we could feel it lifting from up underneath. But not only that, the local lady who was on the table with us was speaking in her language, in Norfolk, to her ancestors. And at one stage we said to her, "What are you saying?" And she looked up at us with these glazed eyes and spoke in Norfolk to us. We have no idea what she said, but we've got it all on camera. So that blew my mind.
Yeah. And literally we were using a table that was sat in the corner. We pulled it out, and it was one of those old-fashioned wooden fold-up tables with the slats
the ones
on
like
the
that
top.
fold up like that, and they've got the
4 legs.
yeah,
Heavy as hell.
big and heavy.
We thought, this ain't going to move. And we hadn't even finished the introduction, and it was already on its way. It was
And sliding across the floor.
so powerful and amazing. It literally blew our minds. So we hope to get you guys coming to Norfolk next year with us and enjoying that particular site and the things that can be enjoyed on Norfolk Island. With that, we have to finish up. We've been on for far too long. We have to take these things off because they are just as hot as hell. We thank you all for joining us this week. Share.
Please share.
And yeah, if we get to another 700 or 800, maybe I'll get Anne to wear something ridiculous again next week. Who knows? Stop it. God, you are just blowing out this whole professional thing that we're supposed to be.
Whoever said I was professional?
We're supposed to be professional ghost hunters.
I'm the clown.
Anyway, with that, enjoy your weekend. Love
Stay
the
safe.
people that are close to you. Tell them you love them every single bloody day, because you just never know. Oh, Jesus. You just never know what could happen. So please do that. And we thank you all. We love you very, very much, and we will see you next week. Before she does something absolutely stupid. Bye.